books, especially Hindi version, I believe.
Yeah,
You
that
know, one of the questions I was reading, and it was literally, I could not find, it was about the Shakahar book. And I kept reading and reading and reading. It was on the last page of the book, pretty much.
You're telling people who haven't done the exam yet.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Has everybody done exam?
No. Not
Oh,
me.
I didn't do it yet.
I was waiting for more feedback.
You guys are being deceptive here, the ones who have not written exams. I assume that everybody
No,
wrote
it's due on
exams.
Fridays. So
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But anyways, it's
So
in the
Prabhaji, once everybody has written, I do have question about one or two questions in the exam too.
sure.
Yeah, so
But I know if you look for it in the book, you will definitely find it.
no, I think the way questions, at least
No,
one.
actually, yeah, there are a couple of in my other batch they pointed out.
It is
and I've already sent it.
contentious. Those questions are contentious, right?
Yes, I did forward it, how good they are going to be in terms of responding.
No,
The
that's
way
fine.
it's supposed to work is if genuinely it's a mistake on their part, they are going to add the marks to the people, who did it correctly.
Okay.
Hopefully that will happen.
Yeah, your warning, Bahubali, came handy.
Good. Yeah, I've echoing. When I was so confident, then once I submitted, it miserable. Then I thought, okay, the biggest mistake is not go through again and again multiple times. I should have done that and then open the book and make sure, like, search for it. I didn't do that. I mean,
I think the differences are so subtle that, you know what, and the thing is that as you said, if you don't go through the book and reconfirm it, you can easily make a mistake,
all my questions were wrong, like where there is multiple answers. If there is 3 answers required, 2 answers required, 4 answers required, whatever, that's one of them is wrong. So the question is wrong now.
No. You will get out of 4.
You'll get those?
Correct.
Okay.
You will get the point.
Okay.
And we have seen that if you
because that was four marks, so then each question had 1 mark, so you would get, if you got 2 or 3 right, you would get those.
Good. I thought
and if you did not, I think it forces you to click all 4 of them.
It does.
Which is good, because before they did not do that, and a lot of people thought jo correct hai wo kar diya, we are done. Lose points.
Who's left with the exam with Rak too in our group?
Yeah, I'm left.
Oh, you haven't done it. Okay.
No.
Okay. And
We
Safalta
were
and
expected you to do it first, right?
No, I also didn't do it.
No.
Okay. Safalta and Nidhi ji, I don't know if she's here or not.
Yeah.
But I like the exam. That is very challenging.
It's challenging. It's challenging.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be definitely careful, but I like.
Call Nidhi ji in case she's just.
She joined.
Oh, she just joined. Okay. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. We have started semester 2 Tattva Gyan Pathmala 1. We had a little discussion over the exams. Yes, the exams are supposed to be tricky because they are testing if you really understood the material. And sometimes there are going to be so minor differences that if you don't read the sentence carefully, it's going to be easy to make a mistake. So those who are left, be careful.
Quick question, Prabhaji. What is a passing mark on these exams? Is there a passing mark on these?
Anybody who's above me is passing.
India ke jaise 30% hai.
So Viraj, you take the test, tell me your score.
Then I'll tell you that you know.
India में पहले passing mark 30% ही था ना?
35.
35.
Yeah, मैं पहले 33% होता 35 उसमें भी pass by grace. अगर 2 रह गए तो pass by grace होता था.
So I got 75%. Yes.
No, really, I know that most of you know the material. It's, again, a matter of not thinking through it completely. And that's the reason I gave you guys the trick that find each answer in the book, then you can't go wrong. And then, of course, there are genuinely some mistakes from the admin side, which we will correct.
Yeah.
My advice is to read both Hindi and English books.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can
Also,
get just
the reason they design it such that there's all variations of students, right? Some absolutely did not get time to focus on reading these books themselves. They've heard it in the class, they have done assignments, still they haven't been able to focus. So then exam is a good time. I used to do this. I would spend the whole week just studying thoroughly again first, then taking the test, and actually again referring back to the books and confirming. First, I will do it the whole test without looking, at the books. Like usually I would expect 85 to 90% that I know the correct answers. But I would still go back and check each question in the book. And sometimes, yeah, to my surprise, I would have been wrong because I did not read it carefully. So, but that's yes, it is a trick to taking the exam, but it is also for you to know that that is how life works. If you are not careful, वो बोलते हैं ना क्या something ध्यान हटी and दुर्घटना घटी, right? You're driving and you focus. I just tease my husband all the time. He loves to see. I drive, I cannot see that there's a new building came up in the last 1 year. And he will observe everything. ये नया दुकान आ गया, वो मिट गया, वो ये खड़ा हो गया. I'm like, are you focusing on the road or here and left and right? So, so, but when you're doing deviating or like turning around at the kids, I mean, people do get into accidents. तो सावधानी हटी दुर्घटना घटी. So you have to be very, very careful with these exams. And actually, not scoring good is in a way a blessing in disguise. Because then it tells you that either you thoroughly did not understand the material, you only understood it superficially, or you're not a very careful reader. Either way, in either case, you can improve.
Or it could be you're a good finder.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Huge difference between me and my husband. उनको कुछ भी दे दो 2 minutes में फटाफट. And I could be looking at that same page, staring 5 times and not find that sentence. So, yes, different people have different abilities. So, yeah, if you're one of those who finds things quickly, yeah, these things won't take too long for you.
So, Prabha, can we do multiple attempt? One is without referring book and one with a referring book, just to see what is the difference.
As long as you don't submit, you cannot
Yeah.
submit and come back.
But then if I submit, then only I come to know whether it is wrong or right.
You only get one submission.
Only get one.
Maybe you are the leader of the group. You might end up getting two.
just like
No special concession.
just like मनुष्य जन्म एक ही मिलता है, जैन पुत्र जन्म एक ही मिलता है. So
yes. काम इसी में कर लेना है, right?
yeah, take advantage, full advantage.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, we never realize कितने हमारे दिमाग में myths भरे पड़े हैं. Tomorrow I have to do this 5 sins. Hope you all can take out some time.
Yeah.
And it's only half 40 minutes, something like that. Yeah. But कितनी चीजें तो हम सोचते ही नहीं है कि sins हैं या these sins are going to affect us. I mean, we just don't. I mean, now after all this knowledge, like, I get sick. Of course, it's never fun to be sick. It's irritating. I can't speak. And every day I have to teach all these classes. I'm coughing in there and not able to speak. So it is irritating to go through a viral or whatever bacterial infection. But then, I thank my luck, whatever. कि देखो, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि मैं दूध की धुली हूँ. I have done wrong things and right things, and so they're supposed to come back to me, right? सोचो कि कम में निपट गए. It wasn't so bad. So it gives you that right perspective. कि maybe it could have been worse. I could have had pneumonia. And maybe उसमें bronchitis में ही बच गए, इतने में हो गया. And it actually does affect, I mean, genuinely, ये कर्मों का जब हम पढ़ेंगे तो I will explain how it works is कि suppose कोई आपने obviously in the past lives, this life past, whatever, you have done a lot of, bad things, good things, whatever. So obviously the bad things are supposed to come into fruition. What happens though is when it comes in Uday, lot of them तो वो आके यूं ही चले जाते हैं because people like me have a habit of ignoring. So I don't even notice that something unfavorable had just happened to me and passed by. Now, when you do get it, which means a little tivra udaya, something like this, where you physically actually get sick, it's still the intensity can get milder depending on your bhav at the time, depending on what your reaction is at the time. So, let's say it started with a very mild, because my husband had it in Chicago and we drove together. So obviously I knew I was going to get some effect of it.
We all had it. We all had it in Chicago also. Sabko hua tha Chicago.
Oh, तो सब लोग वहीं पे आए, that means, yeah, something must be
Too many
going.
people.
Yeah. So his was not too bad. And mine was even less than him because I thought I have a little better immunity in general. But for some reason, it just Sunday night or whatever, last Saturday, it just flared up. Sunday, I called my friend who is an ER director, and she's like, oh, maybe you should go to ER because it could be pneumonia. Things can turn very quickly. So normally I'm not a big proponent of antibiotics and all that. But then when she said that, I was like, maybe I don't want to ignore this. So Monday I called the doctor and, got some prescription for antibiotics and all that, which took care of it. But so when that happened, when I was so sick, like as if I had pneumonia, weakness, and like just feeling like I need to rush to the ER, that's when that thought came that, you know what, Prabha, it's just Uday of your bad karmas you've done. Just accept it. There's no point in doing Artha Dhyan, Rodra Dhyan, why is this happening? So irritating. How will I teach tomorrow? Like all those thoughts. So you kind of put a break to those thoughts. And, say to yourself that, hey, it's come, accept it, let it pass, be done with it. Normally, what do we do? How irritating, अब मैं class कैसे पढ़ाऊंगी, ये क्या होगा, वो 1,000 thoughts, go through your mind.
Equanimity, Jainism में सबसे बड़ा concept है. Samata.
बोलना easy है, करना is what we need to get to.
But that's what we practice all the time. More increasingly, more and more and more, right?
Yes.
You should ask me about that.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about it. That is this awareness all about. When actually the opportunity comes, you actually take it as an opportunity and say, oh, wow, okay, now this is my opportunity to apply, all the things I learned. So, okay. So let's go to Tattva Gyan Patmala. We have to still do the Jaimala, right? We finished the puja?
Yeah, Jaimala is pending.
Okay.
Prabhanti, did you want to start with the few of us still had to give our experiences? Do you want to start with that first, or we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Okay. So who wants to go first? Burarji will do later. So how about you guys go then? Just Dinesh, Burar, and Dinesh and Dipali are left. And Dinesh is going to have video off for a little bit.
I mean, so we could do it together also, right? That's okay.
Okay, all right. So, sure, I'll speak first. I won't be long. So first of all, I missed the class where everybody was sharing their experiences, but I did listen to the video afterwards, and I was very touched to hear Subjane, but really speaking from the heart, right, and how the class has benefited, and it was very nice to hear, very pleasant to hear. So, like some of the others, I have been. Some will call it maybe obsessed with these matters since I was a teenager, since like I'm about 15 years old. or ghum ghuma ke. I've studied everything. I've studied Buddhism, I've studied Hinduism, I know about Islam and Christianity, and I've studied and I've practiced things. And I feel like ghum ghuma ke mein wapas Jainism mein aaya hai, because I said, look, at the fundamental truth at the end of the day is I'm born in a Jain family for some reason. So I have kind of come back to that for the last few years. And it is not easy to learn Jainism. It's just that the mechanics, the structures are not there. So in fact, whenever people used to ask me, how can I learn meditation things, I say, find a Buddhist center and go and learn Vipassana. That's the easiest thing because they're available, they're accessible, they don't charge you money, but they're quite honest people, you know. So I said, if you want to learn, go and learn Buddhism, you know. That's because who am I going to send them to, right, to learn Jainism? Hamare sadhu santa aate nahi yahan pe, all that stuff. So it's been difficult to learn. And like I said, I read a lot, and I've been studying a lot for many, many years. I've been studying Jyotish also for 15 years, and studied Sanskrit and many, many different things.
15 years of Jyotish. Oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I've always had very good teachers in my life. So, and that's continuing as well. So, so a lot of things I've been doing. So in terms of how this course has affected me, I mean, it has, you know, I think I really appreciate the structure of the course, the fact that it is so well laid out with the books, the exams, the classes. It makes you reflect. It makes you reflect on a regular basis. And that is the key, because, you know, you can read a book on Jainism and then, you know, you forget about it. But this constant having this exposure and again going into the concepts. And I understand that now as we go semester through semester, concepts still same, but they'll go more deeper, more intricate concepts wise. But the concepts are very similar. So I really appreciate that. And I think it has changed my outlook on things somewhat. I won't say it's been a major change, but I think certain things, and I did that in my LCPA assignment a little bit, I gave a few examples, but it just is few things of stopping to reflect on things, right? Instead of just reacting, now just reflect for a moment. Ki, okay, Jainism ke context mein kya sochna chahiye, kaise sochna chahiye. I will admit that I am still a skeptic. I am always a skeptic, and I think skepticism is healthy. So I am aware that this course is, you know, Pandit Hukamchandji Bharil's interpretation of Kanji Swamiji's interpretation of the Jain Agams. So I'm not 100% convinced yet. I'm keeping a very open mind because, you know, as Bhagwan Buddha said, as Bhagwan Mahavir said, come and see for yourself, right? Don't take my word for it. Experience it for yourself. And so far, I'm having good experiences, and I will continue to keep an open mind. I'm learning a lot of things. I'm filling in a lot of gaps in my knowledge. I've known a lot about Jainism, but a lot of things were gaps because I never learned it systematically. So this is filling in a lot of gaps. So overall, I think this has been a very healthy thing for me, you know, in mentally, spiritually, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to continue to participate. And it's not easy to find the time, believe me. But I appreciate the
So that's the other thing this course does is make you find that time, really. Because if it's completely left up to us, we sit in a corner one day, we have some time and we read books, then the next we may not do this for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you know. So it gives you a structure, makes you make that time. Now, skepticism, no problem. But one thing we will read in Mokshmar Prakashak, one thing that comes is Bhagwan himself said, Pariksha Pradhani Bano. Don't just believe because I said so. You experiment on yourself and make that principle true for yourself. Because until it is that, it will be a very superficial belief.
It's just theory.
Yes. Because then what happens is कि जैसे हिंदूज करते, मैंने भगवान में श्रद्धा करी कि वो मुझे पास करा देगा. The moment I fail, वो भगवान useless हो गया एकदम से. Right? That is obviously not the belief here. Yes, there are certain things, karnanuyog, तीन लोग क्या है, वो सब तो you cannot experiment until you physically go there and become kevali. But उसका भी logic है कि क्यों ये चीजों पे हमें विश्वास होना चाहिए. वी लर्न दैट इन वीतराग विज्ञान 1, क्योंकि हमारे भगवान वीतरागी हैं और केवली हैं. राइट? in this world normally, when does a person either not speak the truth or doesn't say things to your benefit.
When they have rag and dvesh.
Yes.
Mara
Either
Bhagavan.
they have rag and dvesh or they simply don't have the knowledge.
Right.
And
So
both
one last thing I wanted to add. So thank you, Auntie Ji. I mean, but also I wanted to add that I have been so my skepticism is only on the method and the interpretation. It's not about the ultimate realities, because I have been extraordinarily fortunate in my life to have great beings in my life. I have been 1,000 times I have been proven beyond any doubt that there is another reality that beyond our senses. So I'm extraordinarily lucky to have those experiences. The question now is simply for me is, which is the right path? Because again, there are different interpretations of Jainism. So I'm keeping a very open mind, and I'm putting my full heart into this.
But yes, truth is one.
Yeah.
Speaking about it, explaining it can be different ways. Different Bharalji may explain it in a different way. Somebody else may explain it in a different way. When we understand Nay, the viewpoints, we will understand that the whole truth is a lot of things. It's like an orange, so many pieces. Now, one author may focus on this piece, the other author may focus on this. That is not to say that the other pieces don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the biggest mistake people make when they read from one author. They think, oh, he's only talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are doing is, let's say even the differences between Shwetambar, Digambar, or Sthanakvasi, Murti Pujak, right? In reality, Murti Pujak people are giving more emphasis on puja, right? Because their viewpoint is it's easier to do kriya than gyan. Gyan people don't easily get interested in it. तो वो उसको importance देते हैं. That does not mean that some of their good sadhus who have the knowledge don't understand and don't believe in the true knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about Bhavalingi Sadhu. I met Maharaj Subodh Sagar Maharaj Ji. He died maybe 10 years ago, but extraordinarily powerful Multipurak Sadhu. I mean, this guy was.
Even if they're not Samudrashti, they can still have the knowledge base at least. They could have read the proper books, they may have the knowledge. So that is something to keep in mind. So that is one thing. So it makes us more open-minded to see. Then once we understand the truth, and if there are actually issues with paramparas, we recognize that also. That yes, there are some faults there, but this is the way it is. We don't do dvesh, we don't do rag. We understand that this is what it is, and this is what they emphasize more on. Like I have observed Sthanakvasi people, their main focus is on Daya Dharma, right? There, everything is about Daya Palo, least hinsa, whatever. But that is not to say everything else is not important. Everything is important. They just वहां उसकी मुख्यता ज्यादा है. मूर्ति पूजक में पूजा की मुख्यता ज्यादा है. कांजी स्वामी की भाषा में निश्चय की मुख्यता ज्यादा है. That is not to say that he didn't say don't do upvas, don't do kriya. At the time, because there was too much kriya going on, he wanted to teach people the nischay first, that at least know the real truth, the reality, and understand where it fits. Kriya is important, Shubh Kriya is good, but that is not the true religion. That is going to happen on the way. But don't think that that is dharma, which unfortunately inadvertently happened in paramparas. It's not that it is sadhu's fault. It's just the way dynamics is, because sadhus give pravachans only limited times. People aren't always listening to them. There's whatever the reasons may be. So our job is to know the truth and reality for ourselves, so we don't make that mistake. We are only responsible for our own soul, not even our wives, not even our children, not neighbors, not friends. Yes, we can mean well, we can be nimit for them. All those are okay. But eventually we are only responsible for ourselves. Okay.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to speak short about this experience, but as unlike Dinesh, I have not read as many books on religion and all that, but I have been raised in India. So I was always exposed to a lot of terms and terminology growing up in India about Jainism, Buddhism, and different religions, and having friends and all that kind of. I was exposed to many other dharms, right? What I always wanted to learn Jainism in a more systematic way, and that's where I was seeking out, and I just happened to found out about Paramagam course, and then this is where I am. What I'm liking is that, just like Dinesh, as he said, it's systematically teaching you. It is the same concepts, but basically you take ahimsa and you take one peel off of it, and then you learn one part of it, then you take another peel. So ahimsa, you're learning on so many different levels of it, right? Like we are going to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's going to become, I'm hoping that it becomes, you learn it in so much depth that it almost going to become hopefully second nature for us, right? Like it's going to be like that. And when I started this course, I felt there were lots of concepts were not as easy for me to grasp, and hence I needed to have extra lessons on my own, figuring it out. And I tried to keep up with being, and that's one thing. I have taken this subject, and I'm happy and very happy and proud of myself that by keeping my own discipline, I'm learning and understanding these concepts in my own way. One thing it has changed my outlook is on my past actions. So, every time, every day, we all reflect. I'm sure we all do that. And I've been reflecting on my past actions. One of the examples I feel is like when I used to be a small little kid, and in India, you go to bathroom and there's always little ants in the bathroom, right? Like जब तुम नहा रहे हो और सिंक के पास हो, so सब जगह पे छोटी छोटी काली लाल जो चींटियां होती है. So every time I would with my little bare wet hands, I would kick them and put them away, right? Like always I did that. And I felt very happy that I was saving a life of an ant, and I was proud of that, right? But now, reading this, that, knowing that कोई द्रव्य दूसरे द्रव्य का कुछ change नहीं कर सकता है. So, thinking that, oh, मैं इसको बचा रही हूँ, that is actually not true. So now I understand it differently, that, what, that Mungi was there. I was the Nimit. She was supposed to live. I just did my job with my body and saved it, right? And so मैं उसमें कुछ करता नहीं हूँ. So these are the things I'm reflecting on my daily basis on my past actions. And this course is also the thought process, the same thought process is also changing my future view about my own life. Like we all have our own thoughts in our mind that, oh, मुझे 10 साल के बाद 15 साल के बाद ऐसे रहना है, वैसे रहना है, बच्चों के साथ ऐसे करना है. So there's so much of that attachment is there. Expectation is there. And I'm not saying that it has gone away, but I'm looking at it in a little bit different way. Even mine and Dinesh's relationship, because we're learning it, we're really fortunate actually that we both are learning this together, and we are able to talk about it, read about it together, apply it together. Our relationship has actually become even more deeper and meaningful, and we are able to let go of things, and we are like, okay, you know what, ठीक है, अभी जो हो गया. मैं कभी गुस्से में रहती हूँ तो दिनेश आके शांति से खड़ा रह जाएगा. And sometimes when he is upset, I'm like, okay, ठीक है, which might happen less on those times, but yeah, at least I'm letting go some more than I used to.
And
so
the best thing is the letting go with the kids. We have
yes,
tons of expectations with our kids because
yeah,
we think हमने बड़ा किया, हमने उनको अच्छी कॉलेज में भेजा, हमने ये, and we do, of course, who doesn't for their kids, right?
right,
Especially moms, हम कितने भी बीमार हैं, हम उठ के we will make food for our kids. So we have this whole baggage of how much we did for our kids, right?
मैं भावना, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that slowly disappears. Well, it
Yeah.
just happened. I was not the doer, it just happened. So then your expectations diminish, which is a great thing, because in this country, better not to expect from kids, because then when doesn't come back, then you feel bad. This way,
Yeah.
expecting whatever they do for you is great. Then you feel positive about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it should flow naturally. You shouldn't have to. I mean, of course, in the beginning you will have to. Also, each one of you can judge yourself the way you react today versus 6 months ago, a year ago. So what happens is, reactions, even if they come, they don't last as long.
Yes.
Some get avoided. Some make you wonder, like even if you did, I mean, because reactions will still happen. It's not like you're becoming a sadhu right away. Because uday aayega, sanyog aayenge, which means somebody is going to be coming your way to bother you, whatever the case may be, and the reactions will come. I mean, husband wife के बीच में तो जो होता है so many things. Insurance ने ये क्यों नहीं cover किया, bill क्यों ज्यादा, I mean, lots of little things that go on in routine mundane lives. And then when you understand this whole nimitic sambandh between karmas and uday, and how you alone are responsible for making things worse for you or better for you, for your own future. So gives you that sense of control also. Yet,
Yeah.
no control. Because जो मैंने कर्म कर दिए वो तो हो गए. Now movie चलेगी, मुझे सिर्फ उसको देखना है. The movie is already shot. The reel is made. Nothing I can do about it. Only thing is, my life is like, जो movie जब चलती है, जहाँ बल्ब शाइन कर रहा है, उतना मुझे दिख रहा है.
So
And nothing I can change about it.
better might as well enjoy it then, right?
Enjoy the movie. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, we
Even
can
if even if it's a horror or a tragedy or drama, it doesn't matter. Enjoy whatever it
all
is.
those scenes will come. Expect it.
Yeah, those
So,
will come. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a boring movie. If horror and
we
all that is,
don't enjoy movies that don't
yeah,
have any fighting or don't have any color, or no mother-in-law is bothering the daughter-in-law. We no fun, right? So it's the same for our lives.
yeah,
If nothing negative happens, if I don't get sick, the whole time it's just going smooth, life gets very boring.
true.
Right? So, so expect those to happen, and yet know that if I was watching a rerun of a football game that I missed this last Sunday, it's already decided who is going to win. I can do this and that, and oh, you do this, and well, we all know this is a recorded play. So that's what life is all about. It's a recorded play. And once we kind of get that depth of it, we start watching it like that and enjoying life in that way.
As we say, in design world, it's a lifestyle. The furniture you buy is a lifestyle furniture. This is kind of your real lifestyle. It's changing it's changing your thought process. It's changing your way of thinking, reacting. Even like, as you said, maybe the reaction is coming, but maybe it's more controlled or calculated, or at least it is short-lived. And then you are reflecting in a positive way. And hopefully maybe it might reduce. As you said, nobody is at that
And
level
it
right
should
now.
naturally reduce. You're not forcing it to reduce. And let's say you did have a flare up, right? That still can happen. It happens to Munis also. I mean, who are we? But then the thing is, you don't associate yourself with this flare up. You are not that. That is paryay. Once your drishti is on dravya, you were just the observer. अब वो मूवी चल रही थी, अब उसमें वो क्रोध का सीन आना था, आ गया, मैंने देख लिया, I'm done. I'm just not that. I was just the observer. So watch how interesting life would become.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Ganesh, Guruji, are you ready?
Yeah, might as well. Sorry, excuse me. I'll finish it. So there's continuation of this. For me, first of all, I would like to thank Dinesh and Deepali because they was the one fine day they said, "Well, everybody joining, you join in." I said, "Okay, let me just join in." And from that day on, every Wednesday has become an experience for me of this satsang. In the beginning, until such time, even before this, when I knew that I'm supposed to do submission, for me, this was nothing more than a good satsang wherein good thoughts are getting to me, and maybe they are influencing the way I live, the way I think, the way I react, the way I behave, everything else. So, and that has been the case. It is only when I realized, oh, I have to do exams and I have to do this. So I felt as if I'm going to the classroom again. But anyways, I I have thoroughly enjoyed, or I have thoroughly, I will say, um, like being in this class from day one, from every Wednesday to the effect that now on Wednesdays, even my partners and colleagues know that I will be in the class. So they let me alone. And if I'm sitting late at the office, they know why I'm sitting late at the office, because my time is mountain time, 6 to 8. So yeah, anyway, coming back, thank you so much for, making this a very strict thing from the get-go, that you like discipline. That has helped us get into discipline, I guess. So thank you for that. The class structure, as I mean, I will just resonate what everybody has said, everything that needs to be said about the course, and it's really good course. For me, looking forward, I'm just looking at how, if this 5 years, help me forget the I in me, I think I will have achieved what I need to achieve.
Of course, that is the main thing we're all shooting for at the end of the day. Yes. Not forget the
That
I.
ahankar
Know who
bhav.
the real
No,
I is. That's the point.
it's a ahankar bhav that I'm talking
Yes.
about. जो अहंकार का भाव है ना,
Ahankar
वो
is
जब
only
मिटेगा,
when you're associating with the body. The moment you associate with yourself, there is nothing to be, ahankari about. You are just you. You don't get affected by others. You don't affect others. So then there is no need for ahankar, right? So that is the main thing we have to learn here, is to associate it with the real I, not this fake I, this fake identity that I'm living with.
true.
So, and yes, I mean, it is great satsang. Of course, you get company of your friends, and of course, but yet the exams and assignments make it a little more than just a satsang. And I think that is the key to success of this course, because it makes you a little more disciplined, little more sincere about it. Otherwise, and I'm sure everybody has experienced this, a lot of people do different books. Some nowadays, YouTube watching is very popular. People watch whatever comes their way. Some people will watch all Jain lectures. Some people will go to, because everything is accessible now, Sadhguru and Brahmakumari and this and that. Now, once you're done with these 5 years, I mean, already in my morning class, a lot of them are now saying, oh my God, I used to watch so much Brahma Kumari because she sounded sweet, nice, mellow, nice personality, whatever. And I mean, whatever she talks sounds okay. And she says, now I started distinguishing between the real truth from, even if it is little bit off, I can make out now. And that is one of our goals. क्योंकि जो बोलते हैं ना कि छुरी पे कोई आपको शहद लगा के दे दे तो क्या होगा? आप खा लोगे और फिर कटोगे. So you don't want to do that, right? And that happens a lot क्योंकि देखो, बुद्धिज्म हो, हिंदुइज्म है, सब में झूठ, चोरी, पाप कौन कहता है करो? Obviously no, they all propagate the same things. So when you hear, oh yeah, this sounds like Jainism, this, but then once you understand the depth of Jainism, कि यहाँ तो हम कह रहे हैं कि राग की उत्पत्ति, the mere desire the mere slightest of attachment, done. That is hinsa, which nobody else says. And once you've heard this, understood this, believed this, you don't feel the need to go anywhere else. You've gotten the cream of the thing, right? Not only that, let us say you went. I mean, it's not like I've stopped going. If I'm invited somewhere, interfaith, whatever, to speak, I do. And I mean, I used to do this a lot in universities. We have Carnegie Mellon and we have University of Pittsburgh, and they would invite me because they knew me. A lot of times Jainism is not even part of the Eastern religions. They only take the major ones, but they would include Jainism because I could go talk about it. And then they would have panel discussions. They would, whenever this gay thing was new, they would have questions about what does Jainism think about that? I mean, difficult questions like that. Whereas Sikhism, Islam, Eastern religion mein sare aa jate hain pretty much. I mean, they'll have their own. And then suddenly you realize people are so impressed by how profound Jainism is and so accurate they are on their thoughts. There's no confusion anywhere. Whereas in Hinduism, Gita का एक chapter कुछ बोल रहा है, दूसरा chapter कुछ और बोल रहा है. So a lot of inconsistencies, which leads to people in the wrong path. You see a lot of people saying, "Oh, हमारे तो भगवान भी affair कर रहे थे, तो क्या problem है?" Because people see what they want to see. And that's what happens when you don't understand the complete truth. So it's a very good thing to stick to the course for the 5 years, get your solid foundation. Of course, you're not going to be an expert in 5 years, but you will have enough solid foundation that after this, no matter where you go, you won't go astray. Nobody can shake you. You will know the right from the wrong no matter where you go. And you'll start taking things in the right perspective, not minding people, not blaming people. Whatever they are, yes, maybe this is their reasoning, that is them, this is me. So there's never that hatred feeling or the feeling of they are anything less than me, and which is important to have in life. You don't even have this superiority feeling. Oh, because I was born Jain, I made something superior. Yeah, internally, there may be reasons why you think that, yes, I'm glad I got this knowledge, but still not that ahankar bhav that, oh, now I'm like something bigger than anybody else. So it puts you in a very good, baseline. Yeah.
Yeah. So just wanted to say thank you so much, Pravanti. Your teaching is really good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the Jaimala. Everybody has the English book open. Let me open mine too.
Yes.
So
Did we finish? I thought we did not finish maybe Pala and Arga.
everybody else was done.
No, we did Arg.
Did we?
Arg was Jal, right? So
Yeah,
Jal,
we
remember
no, the
spoke
Arg
about
is the
Jal.
last one, which is all 8 things, right? I think I did close
We
it.
finished the Dopa.
What's
Yeah.
that?
That's what I
my
think.
notes also go only till Dhoop. So I think we have
Yes.
to
Okay,
do
so we
further.
have Pal and Argya. Okay, we can go there. That's fine. All right. I'm going to quickly, well, not today. Thought I had it downloaded, but okay. So yeah, go ahead. Who wants to read first?
So I had not read last time, so maybe
Okay.
I'll start. So Phal. शुभ अशुभ वृत्ति एकांत दुख अत्यंत मलिन संयोगी है, अज्ञान विधाता है इसका, निश्चित चैतन्य विरोधी है। काटोम सी पैदा हो जाती चैतन्य सदन के आंगन में, चंचल छाया की माया सी घटती क्षण में, बढ़ती क्षण में। तेरी फल पूजा का फल प्रभु हो शांत शुभाशुभ ज्वालाएं, मधुकल्प फलों सी जीवन में प्रभु शांति लताएं छा जाएं। ओम ह्रीम श्री सिमंदर जिनेन्द्राय मोक्ष फल प्राप्त praptaye phalam nirvapamiti swaha.
Okay, you read very well. Did you read the Hindi from the English book?
No, I was reading the English.
Yeah, that's very good
I
pronunciation.
can't read the Hindi so fast.
Yeah, but your pronunciations were very good. Good. I mean, yeah, sometimes some people get stuck with this I and sound, but you did very good. So, okay.
Thank you. I've studied Sanskrit, so it helps. The attachment to auspicious and inauspicious associations cause intense suffering. Ignorance is the creator of this, which is in direct opposition to consciousness. It is like the growth of a thorn in the abode of our courtyard of consciousness. Like a flickering shadow, its illusory nature grows and subsides from moment to moment. O Lord, the result of offering to you is the cessation of both auspicious and inauspicious distressing flames. O Lord, may the sweet fruits and vines of peace spread in life.
Yeah, they are really missing. Amit, did you send it to Varshaji?
Yeah,
Translations
I
of
sent it. Yeah, I sent it.
like them to end. But so anyway, so this is Pal Puja. Pal is what we eventually want as a fruit of this puja, right? So here what that I want to eventually reach the Shuddha state. Remember we talked about Shubha Bhav, Ashubha Bhav, and Shuddha Bhav. So even though doing this puja is a Shubha Bhav, but my goal is to reach the pure, to reach the Shuddha Bhav. So I bring this fruit to you that, when I'm in my routine mundane life, because of agnan, because of knowledge, I do things that are opposite of my natural self. And so that is like, thorns in my soul, right? Because I'm not able to be in my pure self. And then all our emotions, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes mild, and sometimes intense. So I don't want all of those Shobh and Ashobh, and so these are like, they're calling it two types of flames, but they're still both flames. And I want to calm down those and attain the pure self, which is the moksha phal praptaye phalam nirvapamiti swaha. Okay, so let's move to Arghya now. And Arghya is a mixture of all of them. So usually the Arg lines will talk about, all the ingredients in general. Okay, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay, go ahead.
Nirmal Jal Sa Prabhu Nij Swarup. पहचान उसी में लीन हूं भव ताप उतरने लगा तभी चंदन सी उड़ी हिलोर हिए अभिराम भवन प्रभु अशक्त का सब शक्ति प्रसून लगे खिलने स्तुति तृषा अठार दोष कैवल्य प्रदीप लगा जलने मीट चली चपलता योग की कर्मों के ईंधन ध्वस्त हुए फल हुआ प्रभु उसे मधुरिम तुम धवल निरंजन स्वस्थ हुए ओम ही श्रीम सिमंदर जिनेन्द्र अनत्र प्रप्रास है अर्थ निर्वपामिति स्वाहा.
So this one has a line from each, right? It's talking about Jal, Chandan, Akshat. If you notice, each line has a different item. So go ahead and read the Bhavarth in English.
Yeah. O Lord, on recognizing my pure nature like clean water, I have submerged myself within me. As the scorching heat of worldly existence, Bhavatap, began to subside, a wave as soothing as sandalwood arose within the heart. In the divine eternal abode of the Lord, pure and unmarred, all the latest blossoms of spiritual power began to bloom. Hunger, thirst, and the 18 defects waned. The lamp of liberation, Kaivalya, began to glow. All the restlessness born of activities of mind, speech, and body was extinguished. The fuel of karma was destroyed. O Lord, the result was so sweet. You became serene, spotless, and auspicious, resplendent in your pure, detached glory.
So in this one, they are praising Simandar Bhagwan, what his process must be to reach that purity, right? So they said that first you took care of the all these flames of Kashai you had, which the Jal was the symbol of that, and Bhavatap, again the sansar ka jo good and bad happens, उसको calm down करने के लिए जैसे चंदन की हिलोर as if the some soft wind going through the sandalwood tree. Now that you got the pure abode, that is like pure rice, then you got rid of the atara dosh. Human beings normally we have these 18 sometime during the process, and when you are got rid of all that, I mean some of those are hunger, thirst, lot of those things that we have and Bhagwan doesn't have. And that once you got rid of those, you got Keval Gyan. And even the need to do any movement, you got rid of that also, desire to have any movement. And in doing so, all the karmas got burnt out very quickly, and eventually you reach the Silsila. Okay, we'll go to Jaimala. Now, something I want you to understand, you guys have at least a little bit of Hindi understanding. I sometimes wonder, I mean, now they are making efforts, there is, I will show you this. Somebody came out and wrote these Jain rhymes, okay, for your kids. So they actually wrote it in English, these rhymes. I mean, they're related to Jainism that no one can sing. Because one thing I feel that the kids born and raised are going to miss is either they will have to learn to sing the pujas in their original form, which is in Hindi or whichever language, or they will have to come up with pujas or hymns in English that the kids can sing. Puja is see, we all are we all need variety in general in life. So if somebody told you just read, that gets monotonous. So because of that, the invention of pujas, bhajans, all that came about because we still are a little bit of ragi people. We like music, we like tunes, whatever, and so do our kids. So it's something to think about. I mean, that is the importance of pujas, and puja में भी इसीलिए फिर ज्ञान भर दिया कि आप even if you do puja, you're still learning the same material. Okay, so let's start reading. Nidhi, you want to read the Jayamala? Are you good? Up.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. वैदेही हो देह में वैदेही हो देह में अतः विदेही नाथ सीमन धर निज सीमा में शाश्वत करो निवास श्रीजन पूर्व विदेह में विद्यमान अरहंत बीत राग सर्वज्ञ श्री सीमंदर भगवंत. You, Simandar Bhagwan, are the one who resides in Videha, the supreme lord of Videha. Within your own limits, you reside in an eternal abode. In the East Videha, the omniscient and enlightened ones are present, and you, the glorious and detached, are the supreme among them.
So this Jaimala is basically the praise of Srimandar Bhagwan. He is in the Videha Kshetra. So to make it poetic, they called it Vaidehi Ho Dehame, which means you, Aryan Bhagwan still has the body, right? So you are in the body, but you treat yourself as if you are without the body. So that is what that Vaidehi Ho means, right? And you are within your own self. Even though you have, what do Aryans have? They have the sum of saran, all that glory, right? But it does not affect them. They are within the limits of their own soul. They're not bothered with what external, you know, uh, glorious things they have, that uh, uh, devtas have created for them. And they have decided, I just want to be within the limits of my own soul forever and ever. And so, and that is why you are arhat. You are, even though you're present with the body, but you don't treat yourself as if you are the body. Okay. Okay. Arunji, you want to pick up from there? Gyan Siddharth.
Auntie, can I just ask a quick question? And there maybe there's no answer to it, but like in Mahabhidek Kshetra, are they speaking, like, do they use the same languages as we do? Like, would they be using Ardhamagdi or Sanskrit? I mean, or is it, we don't know. I mean,
Bhagwan's Vani is Vardhvani. Okay.
sorry, say again.
Om Tal. It's like a monotonous sound. It's
Yeah,
coming
Om ki dhvani, right.
down. What happens? Sound has its own abilities that whoever's ears it touches, it converts into their language.
Okay.
There are animals sitting in the Samavsaran, they understand in their language. Whoever sadhus, shavaks, or whoever is there, they are understanding it in their own language. Any question that arises, they pick up the answer from that dhvani.
Okay. So, but even the name Simandhara, Hum Dere, this is a Sanskrit name. So actually, jo Simandhar Bhagwan jo abhi hai wahan pe Malag, his actual name there may be something different, right? I mean, we are calling him Simandhar, but
Really, no, it would be the same. Like Mahavir Bhagwan, who actually mein Mahavir hi the. And that is fine. The names can, because Kevali Bhagwan knows the names, right? So they're not making up these names.
Should I
Now,
start?
to relate to the name, poetry can be created by the person who writes the pujas, or the bhajans or whatever. Like that Vaidehi ho dehame videhi, to try to get that rhyme going. That can happen. But the names, the symbols, I mean, those are the way they are. Okay. And in the past, one would wonder if if how could that happen? But in today's time, we see these in conferences where Chinese guys speaking in Chinese and it's getting translated to all different languages, and in the world conferences, this normally happens. Everybody listens in their own language. And I have experienced this, you probably have experienced this too, where you may have a question in your mind, and suddenly, naturally, whatever I talk, that answer just happens to come in whatever I speak. So, same thing happens. Whatever the question is in people's minds who are at this Samavsaran, that somehow magically gets answered in the Bhagwan's Vani. So there are books written, Gautam Swami ne ye pucha, Bhagwan ne ye jawab diya. That actually doesn't happen like that. It's not like they're actually having a conversation like that. But those questions came to his mind, and he was able to get the answers from Bhagwan's mind.
Should I start?
Yeah.
हे ज्ञान स्वभावी सिमंदर, तुम हो असीम आनंद रूप, अपनी सीमा में सीमित हो, फिर भी हो तुम त्रैलोक्य भूप, मोह अंधकार के नाश हेतु तुम ही हो दिनकर अति प्रचंड, हो स्वयं अखंडित कर्म शत्रु को किया आपने खंड खंड. Just gonna go to English version now. Just a second. Okay. O Simandar, the essence of knowledge, you are boundless bliss. Though you are limited by your own boundaries, you remain the ruler of three worlds. As a radiant sun, you dispel the darkness of delusion. You are complete, undivided, but you have fragmented the enemy of karma.
So again, this is again in praise of Bhagwan, that you don't have your bliss has no limits, right? Asim Ananda Roop. Now, why? Because you have limited yourself to your Atma, and yet you are the king of the three loks. Now, how did that happen? He doesn't want to do anything to do with the three loks. He just wants to be in his own soul. So why are they calling him the king of three loks? Any guesses?
Nobody can touch him. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can harm him, help him.
He is Arihant, right? So he can see the three log, right? He can.
That is the reason.
Yeah.
His
He has the knowledge of all three lokas.
knowledge of everything. So your reach is that far. Suppose somebody has gone to China and nobody else in the class has gone to China. So wouldn't you think, oh, he has that reach, his reach is up to China. He knows all about China. And we don't. So in that sense, they call him the king of three loks. That even all the three loks also wish that they could be within their souls. And they're not. And he knows everything and everybody, and yet he's able to be with his soul. And that's why he's the superior king. Okay?
But when you say king, is kind of gives the meaning of ruler, correct? He's not the ruler.
Yeah, no, he is not the ruler. But the person who writes the poetry, his thoughts are pouring. Why? So, Simandar Bhagwan himself is not thinking of himself as the king. But if I want to learn Vitragta, where will I go? King of Vitragta. I want to make a lot of money. Where would I go? I would read books written by whatever this guy, the stock market guy, I can't remember the names, but whatever.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, right?
Yeah.
He knows how to make money in the stock market. I want to learn how to make money. I go read his books or I hear his podcast or whatever the case may be, right? So to somebody who wants to make money in the stock market, Warren Buffett is their king. So it's in that sense, they're calling him the king. Not that Bhagwan thinks of himself as the ruler or the king.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Safal, that after you next.
ग्रहवास राग की आग त्याग धारा तुमने मुनिपद महा आत्म स्वभाव साधना द्वारा पाया तुमने परिपूर्ण ज्ञान तुम दर्शन ज्ञान दिवाकर हो विरज मंदित आनंद कंड तुम हुए स्वयं में स्वयं पूर्ण तुम ही हो सच्चे पूर्ण चंद. Renouncing the blazing fire of attachment that comes with household life, You embraced the exalted path of monkhood, Munipad. Through the discipline of realizing the nature of the self, you attain complete and perfect knowledge. You are the radiant sun of faith and knowledge, the embodiment of bliss adorned with purity and detachment. You became complete in your own self, self-fulfilled, self-illuminate. You alone are the true, fully perfect moon, Purna Chandra.
Mhm. Very good. You know, actually, I mean, I don't know, recently I haven't heard, but if anybody remembers in the old time, Puran Chand, they used to keep those kind of names. And they were very meaningful names. What does Punchand means? When somebody who is complete in themselves.
Complete.
So, in a way, it's a nice name, but now we think it's an old style. Anyway. But names used to be very meaningful back then.
Right.
So again, in the praise of Bhagwan, they are saying that you took Munipad. Well, when you take Munipad, you naturally give up all the sansaric, good and bad together, which is what makes it easier to progress further in your charitra and then attain the Keval Gyan and Moksha. And in doing so, you attain the completeness of your soul. So, okay, good. Bahubali-ji, you read the next 4 lines.
Yeah. पूर्व विदेह में हे जिनवर वो आप आज भी विद्यमान हो रहा दिव्य उपदेश भावय पा रहे नित्य आध्यात्म ज्ञान श्री कुंद कुंद आचार्य देव को मिला आपसे दिव्य ज्ञान आत्मानुभूति से करा प्रमाण पाया उनने series pick my word आत्मानुभूति से कर प्रमाण पाया उनने आनंद महान. O Lord Jina, you are still present even today in the eastern Videha region, eternally existing. Your divine discourse continues to resound there, guiding the worthy souls across the ocean of existence through eternal spiritual knowledge. It was from you that Acharya Sri Kunda Kunda received divine knowledge. Performing it through his own direct experience of the self, he attained supreme bliss.
So
Mandy,
now,
they keep saying Eastern Videha. So we always say Simanda Swami is in Mahavideh Kshetra. Is that the whole land? And then his actual physical body is in Eastern Videha, like the eastern part of that land?
Mahavideha is a kshetra space. It's divided into 20 different sections.
I see. Okay.
And he is in the northeast region of that. So that is his physical location.
So that's what
Earth, he is northeast of us. So actually, a lot of people, in India, traditionally, you take samaik in front of an acharya or sadhu, right? So when you don't have an acharya or sadhu in front of you, one tradition is to go look northeast, because then you're bowing down to Simandar Bhagwan and taking your samaik.
And northeast is the most powerful location for spiritualism in any Vastu or anything, like a lot of traditions.
I don't know much about Vastu and whatever else that you know, so couldn't tell you for sure. Yeah, maybe we can learn some from you, that Jyotish Shastra and Vastu Shastra.
So this this location is where physically it would be where in space somewhere northeast.
Remember, we had that chapter on Teen Lok?
Right.
This Madhya Lok is huge. Remember,
Right.
Earth is like a little tiny little dot, So let's say, so it's like a plate, right? This whole Madhya Lok.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there's this Meru Parvat in the middle, if you remember.
Right, Meru Parvat, yeah.
And there's all these mountain ranges and rivers, and in between there is land. So some of that land is with the kshetra, right? And
Okay.
below that is Bharat Kshetra,
Mm-hmm.
above Airavat Kshetra. We are part of
Bharat.
one little part of Bharat Kshetra. We are not the whole country, I mean, even the whole earth,
Mm-hmm.
not completely Bharat Kshetra. It's a lot more than that, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So our Earth is only part of Bharat Kshetra.
Right.
And there is a lot of other stuff in Bharat Kshetra, which we don't know and we don't know how to reach. Maybe someday we will.
So what about our solar system? Is that all part of Bharat Kshetra then?
Yeah. There's multiple solar systems in the Madhya Loka. There's lots of moons and lots of suns and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So the universe as we know is part of Madhyaloka.
No. Universe is all of it. The all teen lok. The Jain universe, if you remember seeing a picture
I'm
of
talking about the physical universe as we talk in physics is all part of Madhyaloka.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is very limited. It's the universe is probably not even Bharat Kshetra, lot less than that. Universe, as we know in science, is only the galaxies, right? The 9 or 7, whatever number of planets and stars, and that's all. I mean, whatever physically you can see, that's all they talk about.
Okay, even that is just partial Bharat Kshetra.
Very right, very small portion. And science somewhat knows there's more to it, they just haven't discovered it yet.
Yeah.
And even science, I mean, even NASA and all these people, they work off of these religious texts. I mean, a lot of different religion, even Greek philosophy, a lot of different philosophies talk about different geographies, just like Jain geography. And I think Jain geography is one of the main ones used in a lot of scientific space projects. And possibly some Hindu Shastras. A lot of these ancient books have exact measurements, lot of details, which help these people to, discover things. And that's why science is called discovery, which means it existed. They're just finding it. So.
नहीं वो जम्बूद्वीप का भी जिक्र आता है उसमें it said it's 1 लाख योजन बड़ा है. So what is exactly योजन?
There are measurements given when we read Jain geography, we will understand there's a correlation to miles and kilometers, how much is 1 yojan, and accordingly. And what Jain geography says is very different than what Hindu geography says. Their measurements, their times are a lot smaller than ours. In Jain geography, Ram existed way too long time ago. Krishna existed during Neminath and things like that. And Hindus, I think, have different number of years that they quote. So there are differences. So, okay. Who is left to read now? The last 4 lines. Dinesh, Buraji, you can read. समझाया उनने समय सार. That's where you're reading.
Yeah. समझाया उनने समय सार हो गए स्वयं वे समय सार दे गए हमें वो समय सार गा रहे आज हम समय सार है समय सार बस एक सार है समय सार बिन सब असार मैं हूँ स्वभाव से समय सार परिणति हो जाए समय सार यही है चाह यही है राह जीवन हो जाए समय सार ओम ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीमंद्रे जयेन्द्राय अनर्घ्य पद प्राप्तय जयमाला पूर्णाघ्र्य निर्वापामिति स्वाहा. There are 2 more lines there. समय सार है सार और सार कुछ है नहीं महिमा अपरंपार समय सार मैं आपकी. Oh. Sorry, I don't have the English with me right now. If somebody else can read it, I would
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, Amit, you want to read the English part, please?
Yeah, I'll read the English.
Mhm.
Yeah. He had Samaisar revealed to him. He adopted Samaisar. He explained Samaisar to the world, and ultimately he became Samaisar itself. He gifted us the treasure of Samaisar, and today we sing its glory with devotion. Samaisar is the one true essence. Without Samaisar, all else is meaningless. I am by nature Samaisar. May every transformation become Samaisar. This is my wish. This is the path. May my entire life become Samaisar.
Okay. Now, so one thing, first we should understand what is Samay Sar. Samay here is Atma, and Samay ka Sar, matlab the pure form of it. Okay? So even though in the English they're saying, but let me explain why they're saying. So first they say, he found the Samay Sar, which means he found his pure soul. He accepted,
Here the he is Simandar Swami, right?
yes,
Okay. Okay.
and he accepted his pure self. Then he explained the pure self, pure soul, right? So now, even though they call it Samaisar in English, but we should understand the context. He explained the true nature of soul. Then he himself became the pure soul. Then they gaye hame ve Samaisar. He gave us that understanding of the pure soul. Now we are singing the pure soul, Samaisar being also the Granth Samaisar. Okay. Now, hai Samaisar bas ek sar. The only ultimate thing to know is the pure soul. And without the pure soul, everything is useless. Then, I am also by my true nature, the pure soul. मैं स्वयं समयसार हूँ स्वभाव से परिणति हो जाए समयसार. So by dravya, I am also samaysar. But in my paryay right now, I am not samaysar. And I want to become that. And then again, samaysar is the essence. And there is no other essence in life. And that is why I sing this glory of samaysar. So the same word samaysar is used in slightly different ways in each sentence. Okay. So let's jump into the Sat Tattva Sambandhi Bhool. So one person can read the introduction to the author, and then we'll move on. So,
Couple of quick questions, Prabhaji. We typically have started, I think, all books with the pujan. Any particular reason that the Simandar Swami pujan was chosen to start the Tattva Gyan?
no, there's no particular rhyme or reason for that. But they have, I mean, these books were done like long time ago.
Okay.
There's a reason behind it. They are trying to give you all four anuyogs in each of these books. So there will be some story, some puja, some tattva. So they try to give you a variety. So technically, if you even picked up one book and thoroughly understand it, you would get a lot out of it. So he's giving a variety of pujans. In the past, each of the Vitrag 1, 2, 3 also had some pujans. They were different. And the reason they are teaching you different pujas is so that way, if you sing the same puja every day in your house, let's say there's a household they're used to doing puja every morning, what happens is it becomes very monotonous, and then you don't delve into the meaning. So they say it's a good idea to have a variety of pujas and you rotate so that you're focusing on it. That's the reason for all these different pujas.
So another question I had was, so in semester 1, we went through Vitrag 1, 2, and 3, and now I think we are going through Tattva Gyan, right?
One.
So What difference should we expect overall in terms of our learning objectives?
More depth, variation in pujas, stories will be different. But the main Tapyanu Yoga part, which is the fundamentals and tattva, will be similar, but they'll start building on it. So you will realize that knowing what you already know from Bal Bodh helped you in Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3, knowing whatever you know of Vitrag Vigyan. Of course, you won't memorize or remember everything, but at least you will think like this is not completely foreign material. So they're building on it.
So theoretically speaking, it appears that one has to keep going back and forth. Like even while we were studying, like we said, okay, is Pratmani Yoga, Karnani Yoga, is there an order for a study, right? And it says that you have to keep going back and forth because it does seem, sorry, your voice is not coming through, Prabhaji.
Oh, if you kept reading only Sat Tattva Sambandhi Bhool or something, it may feel dry. So then they introduce stories in between just to make it a little lighter. And the purpose of all of them is Vitraka, no matter which Anuyog you do. Just to give you different flavors. And it happens a lot of times, people who are not into much reading, they may not enjoy, easily be able to read Tattva Gyan kind of books, right? But if you tell them to start out with stories, oh, they would love to read the stories. But yet they would still get some Tattva out of the stories because Jain stories all end in moksha. They don't end in happily ever after.
So this Tattvagyan largely that we study will form the part of Dravyana Yoga or Karnana Yoga?
Some Dravyanu Yoga, some Karnanu Yoga.
Okay.
Change your is Karnanu Yoga. And Karnanu Yoga, as we said, most of the things you cannot verify until you yourself become kevli. So it's okay if you're skeptical. Is it really that much or not? Well, when you become kevli, you'll find out. Because those things really don't matter if you believe it and believe thoroughly or not. They are not going to make a difference in your understanding.
So do we also expect to read a little bit of Charnani Yoga during this book, in this book, or this one?
We read Charnanu Yoga, we read Bara Bhavna, we read Shataveshyak, right? All those were Charnanu Yoga chapters.
So probably some of that we can find here as well, I think, right? If there's something like Panch Bhav, Chara Bhav, those chapters, perhaps those will be more like Charnanu Yoga, right?
Panch Bhav and all that. But like this Pancham Gunstan Varthi Shravak, that will be Charnanu Yoga.
Okay.
What does a fifth Gunstan Varthi Shravak, what does he follow? So that would be a Charnanu Yoga.
Okay. So you read a little bit of theory and then you learn about, okay, how to apply it and bring it into your life through Charnani Yoga, right?
And then Panch Pandav is going to be a story here.
Oh, that's again Pratmani Yoga type of thing.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a good mix then.
Yes. It's always a mix. And then of course there are granths that are purely Karnanu Yoga or Charnanu Yoga also. So there is a whole granth called Shravak Achar, which is completely only Charnanu Yoga. It only talks about what to do and things like that. But here we are going to get a mix.
So this will probably follow Moksha Marg, Prakashak and those type of books, I would think.
Eventually, yeah. You can see we have it on our DP. If you see the DP, you will be able to follow through what are the books we are going to cover in the syllabus over the 10 semesters.
No, it's been put together nicely.
Some
Challenge
of
I understand, but it does require a lot of hard work. But
honestly, different teachers may have different views where they may. In the beginning, we contributed, right? When we were choosing the books, I was part of the management team and we all pitched in whatever our little 2 cents worth of opinions. But in all honesty, this was the fastest way to put this course together because the books were already written. They existed in PTSD. So we just had to kind of bring them over and make a syllabus out of it. So also the whole idea arises from the fact that all these pundits that come out, Vipinji and all these people, they all did the 5 years or maybe more. I don't know how many years they do. I think 5 years in PTSD. And they come out pundits, they come out giving lectures. But of course, it's a different level because these kids are 16 years old when they enter.
Sorry, what is PTSD?
It's the organization, Pandit Totalmer, Pandit,
Not a trust.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was 50 years ago. They came out with this idea that let us open a dorm where you would teach Jainism, where the kids can also go to college, get their basic degree in Sanskrit or arts or whatever, yet have this whole syllabus of Jain books also.
So that's a full-time 5-year course. So उसके साथ में degree में मिल जाता है, and you're also getting the Jainism syllabus.
Of Rajasthan University, your normal BS and all that. But at the same time, they also get a degree from the, just kind of what you guys are going to get after the 5 years. So the whole idea was that those were very few, years. There is full of people that have been able to go there and come out of it. So then the rest of the people started feeling like, I wish I could have done something like that. And it's not possible for everybody to go at that age. A lot of families won't approve of it, thinking, wow, you learned Jainism at that young age, and what happens to your profession and all that. And it did matter. Some people were okay because their families had businesses, they could come back and join the business. Some who didn't, they were a little bit sometimes stuck what careers to do and things like that. Now that is not the case. These students are very smart. They come out of PTSD, even if their degrees in Sanskrit or whatever, they are smart enough to get very good jobs with the big five and wherever. So they're equally smart and they do it. So this was designed for people who missed out on that opportunity. So to try to mimic what they do over there, we try to teach you the same books. Okay. Go ahead. Viraj, you want to read the 2 pages of the methodology instruction?
Which one? The errors regarding 7 tattvas? Acharya Pandit Toralmanji's father was Sri Jogidasji Khandelwal, belonging to the Digambar Jain Gorika Gotra, the caste. He was married with his mother, and his mother was Rambabai. He had 2 sons, Harichandra and Gumnari Rama.
Just read this, or is it wrong in the, he was married with his mother is how you read?
Oh, he was married and his mother was
Makes more sense.
and his mother was Rambabai. Yeah.
To make sure the book had it correctly.
Yeah. No, I misread it earlier. Yeah. He had 2 sons, Harichandra and Gumnamniram. Gumaniram was a genius and equally revolutionary individual like him. Although most of the Panditji's life was spent in Jaipur, he had to stay in Singhan for some time for his livelihood. He worked there for a moneylender who was from Delhi. According to the traditional beliefs, his age was considered to be 27 years. But based on his work, his knowledge was on the basis of recent findings. It is certain that he lived until the age of 47. His death is estimated to be around 1823 to 24. Therefore, he should have been born around 1776 to 77. His basic education was in the spiritual Therapath, the sect of the Digambar Jains, style in Jaipur, but his profound knowledge was acquired solely through his hard work and talent. and which he shared generously. He was talented, intelligent, and studious. In addition to Prakrit, Sanskrit, and Hindi, he also had knowledge of Kannada language. In 1821, Brahmachara Rayamalji wrote about him in Indradvajay Vidhan Mahotsva Pratika. It is rare for a man of such great wisdom to exist in this era. Meeting him dispels all doubts. In Mokshamarg Prakashak, he himself writes about his studies along with the commentaries and scriptures such as Samaisar, Panchkastikai, Pravanchatsara, Niyamsar, Gomatsara, Labdisar, Trilokshar, Tattvathastra, etc., and many others. And Shapansar, Purusastra hi Satpuya, Astapuda, Atma nu Shashmna, and many scriptures, and various scriptures enunciating the conduct of layperson and ascetics, and epics along with the tales of morality, well-structured narratives, including scriptures like Puranas, and many other scriptures are there. All these subjects have been studied according to my intellect. In his lifetime, he composed 12 works ranging from small to big, equivalent to comprising approximately 1 lakh verses and around 5,000 pages. Among this, some are extensive authentic commentaries on popular scriptures, while others are independent composition. The works are found in both prose and verse forms.
Okay. I can read the list if you just to save time. Rahasya ki Gomatsar Jeev Kand Bhasha Tika, Gomatsar Karma Kand Bhasha Tika, Artha Sandrashti Adhikar, Labdisar Bhasha Tika, Shapnasar Bhasha Tika, Gomatsar Puja, Triloksar Bhasha Tika, Samavsharan Rachna Varnan, Bokshmar Prakashak, Apurna Atmanushasan Bhasha Tika, Purusharth Siddhi Upay Bhasha Tika, Apurna. This was completed by Pandit Daulat Ramji Kasliwal in 1826. Go ahead, read the next paragraph.
Yeah, his prose style is refined, mature, and easily understandable. The most beautiful form of his style can be seen in his original work, Moksha Samargrupa Prakashak. Although his language is primarily Braj, it also contains flavor of Khari Boli, the local dialect. His style of writing effectively and clearly conveys his emotions. For detailed information about him, one should refer to the book Pandit Todarmal Vyaktitva or Kartitva. The excerpt presented is based on the 7th chapter of the book Mokshamarg Prakashak to gain specific knowledge related to real viewpoint and conventional viewpoint. Nischay Vyavhar. It is advisable to study the 7th chapter of the book Moksha Marg Prakashak.
Okay. So we have read Pandit Todarmalji's introduction even in the previous books. The key points to take away from this author is he was only 47 years old when he passed away. He was a normal human being just like all of us. He had 2 boys. He had a career. He had to make a living. In spite of that, I mean, this should be an inspiration for us. We are here dealing with just 2 hours of class and assignments and exams. He read so many books. Not only read books, he was so smart that he could grasp the essence of those books and wrote further commentaries on so many books. And then he took the gist of all of those books and wrote this Mokshamarg Prakashak, which is an amazing book, which has a lot of material. So I mean, not everybody's, as great as him. So something worth to be inspired by. And if we ever feel like, oh, I got so much, a new job and new house and new whatever, and think about Todamalji, how he did it. He also had a family to feed. He had kids to raise, yet he understood the value of this human life, so still was able to find time to read so many grunts and write commentaries. Quite amazing. And the same way, I'm also very impressed by Dr. Hukamchandji Bharel. Luckily for him, that was also his profession. He never, for briefly, maybe he had to go earn a living in a shop or something. But luckily, he was hired as a principal of this, PTSD college. So this was also his profession. But this talent, not everybody has, where he could write books, he could write pujas, he could write bhajans, lot of variety. And most of his life was spent either writing or giving pravachans. And some of his biggest contribution, he took the risk in 1983 and came to this country. When he first came, of course, nobody knew him. Nobody, back then, everybody was young, and all this Indian generation. Nobody was interested in religion at the time. It would be so difficult. I remember the first time I met him. So basically, he just came cold. I mean, he just came with his wife, and he would stay at somebody's house through some references of people he knew. And those people would make dinner and invite everybody, that at least for having a meal, people would come and listen to him. So it was a lot of hardship he went through to bring this material to us. And I personally feel indebted because, just like Dinesh or whoever, of course, we had that spark in us that we wanted to know the truth. We went to, different whatever books and everything. But once we got exposed to Hukamchandji Bharel, we realized that, yeah, he definitely had some substance. And then we started going more and more and getting to know slowly more as time permitted and all that. So, there are some.
Can I just say too that I had the pleasure of seeing Panditji at one of the Jainas many years back, and I couldn't understand exactly what he was saying because he speaks in very Shuddha Hindi. But still, even at that time, I knew this guy knows something. Kuch to bhi hai, he's really. So we were lucky to meet him. I think maybe it was in Detroit or something, some years back.
Of course, I mean, not only he knew his material, he took the trouble to spread it. So, that was one thing. He promised Kanji Swami, because Kanji Swami, it's not like Jainism didn't exist before Kanji Swami, it did. He just happened to bring it out, the real teachings of Jainism that were not so popular in the times. So he basically, when Kanji Swami passed away, Hukamchandji Bharel took a vow that I am going to spread this knowledge as much as to the best of my abilities. So he tried to take it to, all these different countries wherever he could. And then when Hukamchandji Bharel passed away, some of us took that vow that we will spend some portion of our lives to try to spread this word, because we feel it is important enough. Like, for example, I have always taught in my life. I mean, even as my career as a computer scientist, I designed systems, wrote training manuals, trained people back in the days where computers were new and nobody wanted to learn computers. So sort of, I've always been a teacher. I teach dance, I teach Hindi, I teach culture, whatever. But I still feel that this teaching is the most rewarding to me. I feel that through this teaching, if it is going to make a difference in people's life, it's a lot more superior than my teaching dance or culture or whatever else I teach. So it gives a lot more meaning. So anyway, so that's about, the author, and basically these are all written, so we are inspired. We get to know the author who, whose original works these are. So, okay, now let's.
Quick question. Because in BB2 also we had a chapter number 3, which talked about Sat Tattva Sambandhi Bhool.
Yes.
And that was based on Pandit Daulat Ramji's छह ढाला, उसकी दूसरी ढाला पे आधारित था वो. So how is this different than what we
Maybe
studied?
color. It's just this is going to be a little more depth. That's all.
Okay.
Like, so, okay. So I just told you, right? Pandit Todarmalji studied all these big grunts. Okay, so he wrote commentaries on these big grunts. He also, in the process, I'm sure, read Chedhala. Chedhala is a very old. It's not a very big grunt. It's a small book written by Dollar Ramji. And so his Moksha Marg Prakashak basically gives an essence of all of those books. So, of course, the material can be repeated. So same thing when Hukamchandji Bharil writes these books. So for example, Samay Sar Anushilan and his commentaries. He's not inventing the material. He's not creating it.
Just interpretation.
And then they explain it better. They critique it in their own language. So, and that is needed as time goes along, right? The languages change, our thinking process changes. So now, obviously, we are now explaining in English. So languages change. And examples we give change over time.
So just for context, I think what I'm noticing is that Daulat Ramji was after Pandit Todarmalji.
No.
In some timelines. It says 1855 to 1923 for Daulat Ramji.
And then
And Todarmalji, he passed away 1800 something, right?
1823. Now this, which.
Yeah, but
But that
don't
is
mistake
Vikram Samvat.
Vikram Samvat versus
Samvat.
regular
It's
year,
not
right?
your regular. Yeah.
Not like the regular,
Yeah, but I'm referring to Vikram Samvat only for Daulat Ramji also.
1820.
55 to 1923. So he was after Pandit Todarmalji. So
Okay.
yeah.
I thought that could have been previous, but maybe not. And of course, some of these pundits also got their material from some of the previous big grants. So their own little, and then they become famous because the way they wrote concisely in a small book makes it easier for the general public to understand. So
I'm sure Daulat Ramji had the benefit of reading what Todarmalji wrote, so in his interpretation. So perhaps.
and then that is in a poetry form. There is so many dohas that a lot of people, it was easy for them to memorize that. So it was easier for people to memorize and sing those all day long and have that, kind of going that chintan all day long. So that's why that book is also very famous. Okay. Dinesh or Dipali, you guys start reading this Tattva Sambandhi. Okay. So one of you can read the Jiva, and the second person can do it.
So errors related to the 7 fundamental realities, tattva, until one has not achieved right experiential understanding, bhava bhashan, of the 7 fundamental elements like the jiva, etc., without any contrary beliefs, viparit abhi abhinivesh, one cannot attain the right belief, samyak darshan. Even after studying Jain scriptures, a deluded soul, mithyadarshi mithyadrishti jeev, does not obtain the correct experiential understanding of the fundamental elements. Should I continue, Auntie?
Okay. Since Dipa in Hindi, I'll explain this with Abhinivesh. Viparit means opposite, and Abhinivesh means understanding or intention. So your intentions are not corrected. And that is what this word Viparita means.
Okay.
And the key
Go
word
ahead,
here,
keep
the
going,
key word here
Jeevan.
for me is to say experiential understanding. So not just theoretical understanding, but एक बार experience का word, then you don't have bhool about the सात तत्व. Once you have experiential understanding.
So bhav bhasan. See, even in science, when you study physics, and until you experiment, and I still
Right.
remember some of my high school physics experiments. We were to take this concave lens and put in the sun and in feet that burn. So now that sits with you, right? You experience whatever the principle. Same thing here. They're saying is that you will read things, but until you take it to that experiential level, it will do justice for you. So, and which happens a lot. People go to lectures, go to temples. There are ladies who have memorized number of pujas and n number of dohas, yet they only have it in their memory. It's not at that experiential level.
Like, for example, Auntie, right now in India, it's very common for many Indian Jain housewives to be doing Jainology classes, and they memorize like thousands and thousands of things, right? But, I don't know, and I don't know personally, but it seems like they're just memorizing a lot of facts, but I don't know how much depth there is to that. So, and then they do exams and they win competitions and all sorts of things, but it's a very common thing, right?
In the Murti Pujak or Sthanak Vasti Parampara was not easy. So initially when you start, they say, especially child, it's a good idea because when you're a small child, you can memorize things very easily.
Mhm.
Remember my older son, he was only not even 2, and he had Logos, Namokar Mantra, lot of these tutis memorized. Even a 2-year-old, it's easier to memorize than for me at this age. So it's not a bad idea to memorize things. And the memory is also good when, if you're old, now you are in bedridden, whatever is in your memory is always with you. But that alone is not enough. Unfortunately, because we have limited time, people think and they're like taking off, but unfortunately, that is not enough Jainism for them. I mean, some may be smart enough where while they're memorizing, they might dig deep and find the meanings and try to make it their own. But not everybody gets to do that.
Memorization is just so that you have it handy, right? You have the knowledge accessible, that you don't have to look at the book. If we were doing our exam, for example, and we had memorized all this, we wouldn't have to keep flipping through the pages. So it is a tool, but it doesn't give you the depth.
But unfortunately, it's becoming not practical anymore because your other life does not require you to memorize anymore. When we were growing up in school, we had to memorize formulas. We couldn't go to geometry or algebra or whatever exams with cheat sheets or cell phones or where you could do the formulas. You had to memorize all those formulas in order to do your math problems. Now that's not the case anymore. Okay. Go ahead, read the Jeev or Jeev. That was another thing.
So errors related to the soul and non-soul, which is the jiva and ajiva fundamental elements. First one, although he knows very well the Jain scriptures that describe the classification of jiva, which is living beings, in terms of 2 to 5 sense mobile living beings, trasa, yeah, and 1 sense non-mobile living beings, which is the stavara, and their classifications according to ladder of spiritual growth, gunasthana, and their conditions of existence, marganasthana, as well as the distinctions of non-soul in terms of matter, pudgala, and their modes, paryaya, like color, etc., but does not recognize the factual statements that are the cause of discriminative knowledge, bheda vigyan, and the state of detachment, vitaraga dasha, as described in the spiritual scriptures.
Keep going. Let's finish the whole thing and then I'll explain all the 5 points.
Okay, even if he happens to know them, he understands them according to the scriptures. However, he does not develop the true faith, Shraddha, in the form of knowing oneself as self and not to mix the portion, amasa, of the other into oneself and not to mix one's own portion into the other. Ansh, sorry. And the number 3 is like other false believers, Mithyadarsh Jiva, he develops a sense of belonging in the knowledge and other attributes of the soul, as well as teachings, fasting, and other activities of the body as his own sense of belonging. Number 4, even while having discussions on the nature of soul, Atma, according to the Shastra, he does not experience the soul as distinct from the body and their like. He speaks of them as if this discussion of body, etc., and soul are someone else's. Number 5, many actions occur due to the mutual interdependence, nimit the instrumental cause between Jiva and Pudgal. He considers them as the combined action of both. He does not realize that in this action of the Jiva, matter, Pudgal, is the instrumental cause, nimitta, or in the action of matter, Jiva is instrumental cause. They do not manifest such distinct understanding.
So now you see how it's a little more deeper, right, than what we did before. So in the first point, they said that if you look at it even closer, that you don't have the bhed vigyan, the separation of soul and the body. Okay, so you need to make that sure that you understand where all the jeev is, the moving beings, then one sensed there, and then Gunstan. Marganastan is where they're found, right? You know, like in certain atmospheres, there are living beings that, like mosquitoes, flies, they just pop up just because when they find the right environment. So, being able to understand that Vitragta is not just differentiation with the goal of Vitragta. Then, second point is that what we already discussed, that based on Shastras, people will memorize and do all these things and be content that, oh, now I know Jainism. But that is not enough. They don't relate that to themselves as the self. Whatever they study, it's me, is never realized. And then obviously they don't get the benefit of it. Now, so then third point is that they think that doing upvas, doing all these bodily activities, whether it is eating, drinking, bathing, doing upvas, all those, he thinks the soul obviously is not doing any of it. It's all the body activities. And then the fifth point was that, yes, the soul bhav can be nimit, but if your understanding is deluded, you're mixing the two and thinking, I did upvas, I ate, I drank. Whereas you are to distinguish the two. I am separate, I am the knower. It's the body that is eating. So matter is eating matter. I just happen to be the observer. Do we feel like that every day when we're sitting in front of the dinner table? So, so that difference, right? So we understood the Jiva Jeev Kabul at one level in Vitrag Vigyan 2. Now we're going a little deeper, right? So
Prabhuji, the third point, right, as it says, like all other false believers, he develops a sense of belonging. So we should develop the knower kind of a thing rather than belonging. Right? That's the difference, correct? Okay.
Why do you think people feel proud that I did a thai? I did 9. They go around announcing.
But the belonging of knowledge, right, is also wrong. It should be just the
Same
knowing.
with Atma.
Okay.
Body did the upvas, it didn't consume. Atma never needed the food or never consumed the food.
Hmm.
What is there to be so proud of?
No,
Right?
I think Amit is making Prabhaji a very deep point.
Knowledge, the only knowledge part of it.
He's I think the challenging aspect that we see in point number 3. Sorry, we can't hear you, Prabhaji.
Sorry. So the point 3 is that Atma's thing to do was only to know, be the knower. When you're saying knowledge, is that what you mean?
Yeah, no,
No,
no.
I think what is confusing, according to what I understand from what Amit is saying, is that like even you should have detachment to the knowledge itself. That's what it seems to indicate. Is that right, Amit? Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to say?
correct. So we always say like soul's only job, right, is to gain knowledge, but it is also saying that it will develop a sense of belonging also to the knowledge, and hence we have to draw a line and say that the knowledge also does not belong to us. We are still the knower. That's the only thing that as a soul what we are. The sense of belonging to the knowledge is what I tried.
Yeah,
No.
You don't want to have attachment to knowledge or identification with the knowledge.
Correct.
That you are the knower. Identification of the knowledge, not the activity. That's how they're using that knowledge word here.
Correct.
They're saying that the knowledge you gain through reading the books or through your mind, this physical matter mind, that's not what they're talking about. Whereas the physical knowledge that we gain reading the knowledge of physical, this and that, is still not me.
So is the difference coming because of experiencing the knowledge itself rather than just memorizing it? Is that what you're talking about?
Knowing faculty versus the actual knowledge, the what do you want to call it? Whatever you read, like memory. You memorize many gathas, right? That is knowledge to you. That's not what we are talking about here. We're talking about the knowing gyan gun of the Atma, knowing faculty of the Atma. So you want to associate Atma with the knowing faculty, not with the fact that it's doing upvas, it's doing puja, it's doing the kriyas. So that separation of the two.
Right.
And together it's doing, of course, the soul exists wherever the body is. But that is the 5th point is, yes, it may appear like they're doing these things together. Understand that there is a nimit naimittic someone. The soul did the bhav that I want to practice not able to eat, because soul doesn't eat. The body is the one that eats. So I want to practice not eat. So soul did the bhav, body actually carried out the kriya of doing upvas, of doing puja, of doing swadhyay, attending class, whatever the case may be. So both were involved, but in the nimit naimittic sambandh. Soul doesn't the body to do anything. Body does it on its own account.
But here the little bit confusing part is here, like a sense of belonging in the knowledge and the other attributes. Sense of belonging in the other attributes of the soul.
Right. So yes, the knowledge faculty is mine. The perception faculty is mine. The happiness faculty is mine. I own that. That is part of me. But I don't own the color and taste and smell and all this. That belongs to my body.
But so there's nothing wrong in having the sense of belonging with my faculty, my soul's faculty.
My sense of belonging is with me, the soul, not with the body.
Correct, but other attributes of the soul is why it is trying to point out that other attribute. See, like
okay, I want to describe a mango. So is color part of mango? Is smell part of mango? Is the shape part of mango? Yes.
Yeah.
It's belonging. Same way, all the attributes of the soul are my belongings. Yes.
Oh, I thought it's like other false believers he develops. That's what I thought. It's a false. It's not a false belief.
What they're saying is false believers don't understand the
Okay.
distinction.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Knowledge is the faculty and the
Okay.
rest of the bodies.
Okay.
That's okay. So since our time is up, otherwise I was going to cover Ashra, but we can do that next class. Right? So see how now we are going down to little more minute level and getting deeper. That how we need to understand. So now we are still superficial because we are saying, okay, only knowledge part I should associate with. Everything else is not me. Slowly, then when we go to Samaisar and some of the other, they talk about not just knowledge, so many other attributes that I have. So then I more and more develop. What do I want to associate with? Who am I? And that keeps getting more and more firm. And that makes me then understand that I am not all the rest of the stuff. And this is not ownership in that sense of ownership. It's me. My attributes, yes, I own them. This is me. It's part of me. Is that clear?
Yeah, I just wrote in the chat, right? This so it's basically a false sense of ownership, right? An identification of ourself, right, with the knowledge and the other attributes of the soul.
I own myself like I am beautiful. I am dark. I am light skinned. My hair is long, short. That
No, the other aspects I understood, Prabhaji. There's no confusion over there. Only the knowledge part of it, right? Because we feel that what is soul? Soul is Gyan Swabhavi, right? The inherent quality is soul, right? But we Mithya Drishti Jeev, right, should not develop a sense of ownership, right, of the knowledge as well. That's also a cause of attachment, right?
see, knowledge in the sense of the Gyan. Here we are talking about the Gyan attribute.
Yeah. Okay. Not the knowledge we gained, the what it gains, that what the faculty used.
Happens to be the same word. That's why you guys are getting
Yeah.
confused.
So Jnana Guna itself, I should be belong to the Jnana Guna, not the what Jnana Guna gives.
Not what you learned.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
knowledge go through those stages that we are sort of looking at in three, Mati Gyan, Shuddh Gyan, Avdi Gyan, and all that, no?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That doesn't belong to us
Yeah.
then, or that becomes part of us, right?
The Atma, one of the qualities of
attribute.
Atma is the Jnana Guna, right?
Right.
That is right. Your Paryay, till yesterday you had all the knowledge of Balbodh and Vitrag and whatever. Now that changed to you're adding Tattva Gyan to it. So that's constantly changing. That's not you. You are the soul with its pure Gyan Gun, Darshan Gun, Sukh Gun, all those things.
नहीं, जब हम ज्ञान ही अगर एक्वायर कर रहे हैं और ज्ञान आत्मा का ही गुण है, तो उसमें कैसा अटैचमेंट?
There is no acquiring here.
Acquiring देखो, जो पर्याय में acquire हुआ,
Yeah.
उसको भी जान रहे हैं.
Yeah.
I have that attribute of knowing.
Yeah.
वो already है मेरे में.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the question is, who are you saying is I and you, right? If you're talking about you as Atma, then Atma is Jnani, is Sarva Jnani. But if you're talking you as the student, then you are identified.
Yeah, it's more like if somebody calls me Bahubali, I do not see a differentiation, correct? So like that, the Jnana Guna is yeah.
I say, Bahubali ji, you are too tall.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
Yeah.
I am not tall or short.
Yeah.
That is not my gun. I don't have that attribute.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very, very deep. It is.
Yeah. So that level of, see Muniraj or Samyak Drishti, right? They still live their lives normally. They would talk the same talk, walk the same walk. But inside, they're totally different. They don't associate themselves with this body. So it doesn't bother them. It's like I told you guys this story about this guy. He was relatively poorer, right? So they called him, suppose Lal Chand was his name. When he was poor, they called him Lalu Ram or whatever, some name, right? Now suddenly he gained some wealth. His business did well. He became Karodpati, whatever. All of a sudden, people who never bothered to greet him started greeting him. Ki, oh, namaste, Jai Jinendra, Lalu Ramji. And the guy says, okay, I'll let him know. Okay, I'll let him know. He keeps going, and people are like, what is he murmuring? Like, what is he muttering? And then somebody goes up to him and asks, like, what are you saying? He says, I'm saying that I will let them know who you're calling Lalu Ramji. He's like, what do you mean? We are greeting you. He says, no, you're not greeting me. I was the same person who was called Lalu Ram, and now I became Lal Chanji because of the money. So I'll let the money know that you got greetings here. So it's the same way. You know, people are greeting you because you look pretty, you are famous, you are rich, you are whatever, whatever. But that's not you.
Yeah. No, understood now.
Ah,
सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है वंदना शत बार जय जिनेंद्र remind me in the next class. I'll tell you a little story about somebody being dark complexion and somebody being a chubby, and they're not finding matches. I saw this 20-minute. These days you can get these short videos, short movies in the YouTube. So I do stray once in a while, but then so what? I use them as examples to explain to you guys. Remind me of that story. I'll tell you how.